Notice this question that the disciples put to our Lord: why then do the scribes say that Elijah must come first? Now, if you recall in today's first reading from the book of Sirach, we heard about what a wonderful and magnificent prophet Elijah was, and he was able to shut up the heavens and brought down the fire of God, and he did many, many wonderful things, and in the end, he was taken up in a chariot of fire. He didn't die. He was taken up living. And not just Elijah, but also Enoch. So these are two great Old Testament prophets that didn't die, but rather they were taken up body and soul. And the belief of many of the Jewish scribes was that Enoch and Elijah would return before the coming of the Messiah. And this applies to two instances. So as our Lord points out in today's gospel reading, Elijah has already come in the person of John the Baptist. So John the Baptist was very much like Elijah and the way he dressed and so many other ways. So he's a kind of type of Elijah. But there is still that belief that Enoch and Elijah at some point will return to earth. God will send them back to earth. And the belief is that this will happen before the second coming of Christ. And we don't know when that's going to be, but notice also how it mentions that he will turn the hearts of parents to their children and to restore the tribes of Jacob. So the tribes of Jacob have been scattered all around the world. The Jewish people are trying to go back to Israel to resettle there and, to claim the land for themselves. But it's only when the Jews accept Christianity that the second coming will occur. And it's believed that Enoch and Elijah will be very instrumental in bringing about that conversion of the Jewish people. Now, we might say this is all speculation. How does this all apply to us? Well, it applies to us in the sense that the message of John the Baptist, the message of Elijah, is to turn back to God. This is what we're all called to do. So we might say, well, we're practicing our faith. It's not as if we've strayed. It's not as if we're committing mortal sin. That may be true, but we still need to grow in our relationship with God. We're all sinners. We all need to purify ourselves, as John the Baptist says, make the mountains low and fill up the valleys. In other words, make a straight path for the Lord. In other words, we want to remove all obstacles for God to be able to come to us. Why do we want him to come to us? Because he's the one who makes us happy. He's the only one who can truly fulfill us. So the closer we are to God, the more content, the more happy we become here and now. But we should also look at the zeal of Elijah and the zeal of John the Baptist in proclaiming the truth. And we should strive to imitate them because we need to share the faith with those around us. People are miserable. People are committing suicide. They're going, having access to medical assistance and dying, right? It's like people have no purpose to live. People are doing drugs because they're unhappy. So we need to bring them the joy of Christ. And that's actually the theme for this weekend. St. Paul tells us to rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord. And if we truly understand our faith, we would rejoice. So let us share our joy with those around us.